make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees.
Good morning from paradise. My name is Crypto Amaru. We have the whole Surf Boy crew in the house today. I'm so excited for that. Got a lot of great stories to cover. The hack yesterday. Hopefully no one was affected by it. Last I saw, only $66 have been stolen, so we'll see if that's still the case. Some ETH news to cover. The market's looking good. Fed rate cuts coming. I didn't even check my wallet until now. Thank God all my crypto's still there. I was a little worried. I was like, but it'll be fine. Apparently, if you didn't run any transactions yesterday after a certain time, you should be completely in the clear. But Nate will cover some more of the hack in greater detail. How you guys doing today? Happy Tuesday.
Doing well, man. Doing well. Yeah, I woke up to all kinds of FUD on CT and on crypto Twitter and on a Telegram. Everyone, there's hacks galore. There's actually 2 hacks in a rug that happened last night overnight while I was sleeping. So I woke up to a lot of doom and gloom, but I woke up also to green markets. So I guess not too bad. Could have been worse.
Yeah, doing good here. Just trying to get this all shared, and then we'll go over the charts. I know we got a couple good news articles. We're seeing 2 days in a row of green in the markets, some green in the stock markets, and things are looking up and to the right for Pulse Chain as well off the low. So can't really complain here. Things are looking good. Hopefully you guys have been tuning in. We did just hit another 5x in the alpha group in the surf dial called Rome while it's still on pump tires. Now it's up to 150K market cap. We called that at 15K market cap. So still a tiny market cap. You couldn't have pumped a ton of money into that, but a quick 10x in 5 days since launch.
Nice call, man. Great call. Get your 200,000 surf. If you want the alpha, you want these gains, you want to get access to Frontier Fund, which is printing, 1 or 2% daily returns for investors. So a lot to love. Even in this sort of boring market, we're still making money, which is the name of the game, and also, of course, having fun and being a part of the community. So, Nate, you mentioned there were multiple. I obviously heard about the big one that affected like Ledger and other, I guess, a multitude of DApps. What were the other hacks? I didn't quite see those.
Yeah, so we got the Ledger hack here. I don't fully understand. It was something to do with JavaScript. It got spread to over 1 billion wallets. What up, Martin Max King? Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. As always, appreciate that. But yeah, it seemed like a massive, it was essentially switching out contract addresses. So you'd copy and paste an address in, you'd hit, confirm to go to the next step. And before you submit that transaction, it would have automatically changed out the address you put in with the hacker's address. So if you didn't double check it and hit submit, you're sending funds off to not the destination you thought you were going to. There's also concerns around hardware wallets being affected by this, and even the potential for it to steal your seed phrase from software wallets. Now, apparently, this has all been taken care of, I guess. I just stayed off. I didn't do any transactions today. They're saying now the attack fortunately failed with almost no victims, something like $66 in total. Now, I don't know how they took care of something that was downloaded or implemented on 1 billion different instances, but it sounds like this is all figured out now. I guess exercise caution if you're going to be making transactions today. Double, triple, quadruple check your addresses before you submit. Make sure you're sending it to the right place. This sounded like a very sophisticated hack. I can't imagine that it's resolved this quickly. But then again, I am a non-tech guy, so hopefully we've seen the end of that. That was the big one that made the news. Everybody's heard of Swissport if you've been around for a while. They are an exchange that's been around since 2 cycles almost now. They got hacked this morning for $41 million. It was an exploit into one of the DeFi wallets, only affecting Solana apparently. But the CEO has come out since then saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and restore all the funds to everybody that lost funds. So, Swissborg, been around a while, thankfully, big bankroll, doing the right thing, covering their customers. But does not look like a gray hat or a white hat hacker case where they take the money to, help the project find the exploit and then give most of the money back, keeping a little for their hard work. As far as we've seen so far, this hacker is going for the whole kit and caboodle, trying to keep all 41 million there. But shout out to Swissborg doing the right thing, making people whole after they lost their funds there. But always a good reminder, not your keys, not your crypto. If you're involved in one of these hacks on an exchange, you might not be so lucky. They might not be able to restore all your money there. So always be careful with what you're keeping on exchanges.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one that just came with the Swissborg. I'm glad to hear they were going to be restoring the funds. What's scary about the first hack, though, we say not your keys, not your crypto, and all, that's all true, right? Self-custody is the best way. But it turns out even there's risk to self-custody, and that's what the first hack sort of demonstrated. So, man, this sort of reminds me of a tweet that came out, I think it was Raoul Paul, who's the ex-Goldman guy. He's a big crypto bull, right? Bitcoin bull, and he's talking about, like, the money supply going up. Basically, the bull market's going to be insane, right? That's been his thesis for a long time. He's made a lot of money in crypto. But the caveat is don't get hacked. And I just, man, I lose sleep over this stuff sometimes because, I'm a holder. I got crypto. I'm waiting to sell it in 30 years, but that ain't going to work if this fucking, if Ledger gets hacked and everyone's money gets stolen. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm not saying that can happen. I'm not saying that will happen. But, when you start to see things that can impact your own self-custodied wallets, that, to me, it's scary, man. I don't know how else to frame it. I don't know, maybe Hitman, you're not as worried about it. Web3 Nation, you're not as worried. But fucking hell, like, if self-custody is not safe, what is safe?
Yeah, there's some good memes on that exact thing. I can't remember if it's Dodgeball or it's the one with, the bullets and everything raining down, but it's like scams, rug pulls, hacks, like liquidated, like me trying to make it with my crypto bag, trying to make all the right decisions. It's still getting,
It's so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess people are saying it could be potentially resolved, but for everybody watching, I would just wait another day or two before you do any on-chain transactions. I won't be claiming any DeFi yield on Pulse Chain today, so those little small surf buys will have to wait another day or two. That just means bigger buys over the next coming days. So don't pump surf too fast for us. But I guess let's look at the charts here. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we'll get back to some more news articles if you want, unless you have another one you want to talk about.
I was saying there's another this one's not a hack, but a major rug that happened. Zach XBT hunting this down as you would expect, but this is at Aqua. This would be a Solana trading bot. Right, there's most of the meme trading is now, a lot of the trading on Solana now is done exclusively through these Telegram bots to help people trade quicker. You're fighting against other bots out there. If you don't have your own bot, you're kind of SOL. But anyways, apparently up and coming Telegram trading bot Aqua appears to have rugged almost $5 million from its users. One of the things you need to be very careful with, if you remember, this was almost a year ago now. I made the 6-part video on how to get into trading meme coins and on the different types of meme coins. And one of the things we talked about was these trading bots, and you really need one if you're going to be in the trenches, as they say, trading these meme coins. But when you give the trading bot access to your wallet, you're giving it access to your seed phrase. You need to make sure that it's a separate wallet, that you're only trading, you're only keeping in there what you want to live trade with. If you're not live trading with it, get it out of that wallet, because if a hack like this happens, they have full control over everything with your wallet. They can do whatever they want without your approval. So these are powerful tools, but you need to use them carefully. If you, again, only keep in there what you're actively trading with. If you made some profits and you're not planning on immediately reinvesting them, get them the hell out of that wallet, because something like this happens and they can drain everything.
That's wild.
I stay away from these tools. I mean, you talk about not your keys, not your crypto. Imagine turning over your seed phrase to an anonymous team. That's what's happened here, right? And so, yeah, obviously these guys are criminals. They need to be held fully accountable. They should go to prison for 20, 30, 40 years. Lock them up. Hopefully we can find them, right? But there is some onus on the end user too. Use some common sense. I don't even touch this shit. Like, but then again, like, I've been in this space long enough. I made enough money where I don't need to take these crazy risks. But damn, I mean, giving away your seed phrase to an anonymous team to do trading on your behalf is essentially what's happened here. I don't know. I don't know about that. That does not seem wise. Just another example of all of the bullets raining down, and some, if you that's a self-inflicted wound.
That way you put the gun to your own head on that a little bit there. You're doing one of these, maybe.
Well, back to the non-degenerate side of crypto, we got Bitcoin here is up 112,739. We had to sell there at 123.8, buyback at 112, and a remaining buyback at 110.7. But, everything looks pretty good here. You do have overhead resistance at these moving averages. But we've been talking about Elliott Wave off the low. Has a price target of 117,000 to 118,000. It'll be back up here before you really need to worry. And what also is interesting is you potentially have an inverse head and shoulders here. So here's the left shoulder. Here's the head. This is just rough to do it quickly. And here's the right shoulder. And then you would have a breakout with a measured move, which let's see where this measured move takes us roughly. Bring this up here on the breakout if it happened today. It would have to crush above these moving averages, but look where that gets you. 118.2, 118.1, which is in correlation with the Elliott Wave theory. And what that could do is create a even bigger cup and handle or head and shoulders here. So, I think we still have upside objectives here for Bitcoin. I think we see a rate cut, which could help propel Bitcoin higher. And I think you're going to find some resistance around that 117 to 118,000. And then maybe we need to look to trade out of these positions if we're traders. But really, we would like to get into the 130s moving forward here for Bitcoin. And I mean, we're running out of time if Bitcoin is going to be much higher by the end of the year. We only have about 3 months left. So Q4 should be explosive for Bitcoin. So I think anything in these levels, you probably need to get long. But if you're listening to us, we think that Ethereum continues to outperform Bitcoin. Ethereum continues to just consolidate at this 43.50 level. This has been an important level. I mean, look at the box that's been drawn here for months, and that's where we've been stuck. That's where we've been holding. We do know that Ethereum Strategic Reserve companies continue to buy, and we do know that Sharplink Gaming just bought back like a $1.5 billion worth of their own shares as the MNAV was less than 1, which means that Ethereum Strategic Reserve companies are currently trading at a discount, which I think is a massive fumble for people in the traditional markets, because I do believe Ethereum breaks above 5,000 and heads towards 10,000 by the end of 2025, which means much higher objectives for ETH. But those Ethereum Strategic Reserve companies will go from trading at a discount to trading at a premium and have massive upside potential as well. So I still think everything looks constructive here on Ethereum. Everything looks constructive on Bitcoin. Nothing to fear. And Bitcoin dominance still sitting at 58%, breaking down. So, I mean, this is what we want to see. This is poised for a big alt season in Q4. And we know projects like Pengu and others have been waiting for a massive marketing push in Q4 as they believe alt season is coming as well, along with the Surf token over on Pulse Chain and Richard Hart with Pulse Chain. So I think everything is lining up. And, it's always nice to see green instead of red. It's nothing massive today, but feels definitely better when you wake up out of bed.
Let's give it up for green instead of red. Great analysis as always. We have actually the king of TA here giving us a shout out. Todd Wyckoff popping in. What's up, Todd? Smash, like, share, subscribe, all those things. Appreciate you jumping in, man. We got to get Todd on the show as well one of these days to get his take on the technicals. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be very interesting next, say, 8-9 days. Because we know the rate cut's coming on the 17th of September. The question, there's two questions, really, okay, 25 base point or 50. But the question then is, what happens after the rate cut? Is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news? And I guess it is going to depend, obviously, on the magnitude of the rate cut. A 50 basis point rate cut, which the market is not really expecting, but may in fact happen, would I think be an absolute, mooner situation. But the 25 basis point cut scenario is interesting because what is the extent to which this has already been bought up in advance of it and then sells off when the news hits? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. My take is, look, always think long term. Unless you're a trader moving in and out of the markets, on a daily basis or weekly basis, then this rate cut is your friend. Because we know that about a month after the rate cut, even if there was a buy the rumor, sell the news situation, the markets will be going higher in terms of risk assets. So I'm all for this rate cut. It's bullish to me, no matter what, one way or another. If you're a trader and you're trying to play this buy the rumor, sell the news thing, well, good luck to you. But I guess to me, it's really going to come down to the 25 or 50 basis point, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Nate, what are your thoughts on the Bitcoin TA and on the rate cuts? You haven't got the comment on either.
Yeah, I gotta share a screen here real quick. This story right here. This could be the ace in the hole or the wild card that people are not expecting. Scott Bassett saying on an interview with Meet the Press today that they are going to revise Biden-era job numbers down another 800,000 next week before the rate cut meeting at the FOMC.
Oh, the
If
Biden,
that happens,
the Biden administration lied to you? Who would have thought? Wow.
if that happens, 50 basis points is definitely in play. We know the worst. We got kind of bad job number last week. If this stacks on top of that, I think everybody knows it's all but certain they're going to cut. But I think this could be the ace in the hole that pushes them from 25 to 50 basis points.
Yeah, and the betting market agrees with you. We see that the 25 basis point decreased from 87% down to 80, and the 50 increased from 9% up to 16. Still not priced in by the market. The market's still underappreciating that possibility. Still a 4% chance of no change, and then a less than 1% chance of them actually increasing the rates. But you did see some people react to that on Polymarket and switch that up a bit. Also, we can look here because it's not just about September. It's what happens the remainder of the year. Do we continue to get quantitative easing? And currently, a rate cut in December is up to 61% for 25 basis points. So that's kind of good to see as well. I know you kind of looked at history, and normally after the first cut, we do have that kind of little bit of a pump and then a sell-off for a month, and then quantitative easing really kicks in, and we can continue up and to the right. Do you think that's still in play, Web3, Nate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's still the plan. It aligns very well with the Jan barometer charts as well, which Bitcoin has followed that very, very closely this year. That's been a really great indicator, at least in this cycle, the year in 2025 here. And Jan barometer has right kind of mid to late September peak up and then a dip down for about a month through October, and then coming back up end of October, beginning of November. So a lot of different things kind of coming into confluence there. I think unless we get something crazy out of the normal happen, which, I mean, that happens when everybody's looking left, market's going to go right. So who knows? But yeah, I think my money's still on continued upside here through the announcement, but then shortly after we see that pull back probably into mid to late October. We also got token coming up. The market always dumps during token. that's like a given. Every year, everybody gets together, 50,000 people there and cheer on crypto, and everything's red.
When is that token conference?
First week of October. So
Okay.
KBW is like the 22nd of September to the 28th, and then starting like 28th, 29th through I believe that next weekend. So the first week of October there aligns with F1 every year. It's a lot of fun. It's crazy busy. There's F1 going on. There's usually a couple other conferences. Singapore is absolutely packed. But talk about opportunity to go and meet people. If you are trying to get into this industry, whether you want to find a job, whether you want to get the inside edge on whatever new token or infrastructure project, go to conferences. Not only are they a ton of fun, but you'll learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of great people. And there's a lot of opportunities there, but it's a lot more fun when the markets are green. People are in a better mood when they're drinking beer and when the markets are going up. Than if you're at an after party and the market's going down, everybody's just looking at their phone going, shit.
I mean, based on the timeline you just laid out with the two conferences, it kind of seems like rate cut September 17th. We pump for a couple weeks, and then you get the first of two conferences, starts to sell off. So, I mean, and then right after the conference is over, mid-October, we go to the moon. So, I mean, let's see if that plays out based on history repeating itself, not only with the interest rate cuts, but also with these conferences. Will be interesting to follow along for sure. And shout out to Moonmutt joining us, saying good morning. Good morning to you as well. Sounds like you're probably on the Western Hemisphere with us as far as time zones.
What's going on, Moonmutt? Yeah, Moonmutt joined. I love that name, by the way, Moonmutt. Joined one of our spaces the other day. Appreciate you, man. Nate, you talked about if the market thinks everything's going right and it's going to go left. I think the biggest example of that this cycle is going to be the extension of this bull run. The more and more I think about this, the more and more I think that this thing is not ending in, November. Historically, you'd say that, okay, Bitcoin's going to top out in October or November. I just don't see that happening amidst these rate cuts. I don't think it's going to be just one rate cut. That's the thing, right? We saw a 61% chance the market's betting that December we get a rate cut. We'll see October. I think October we also get a rate cut. We're definitely getting one in September. Remember, the Fed's a target rate, we're like full 100 basis points higher than that, 1% higher than that, right? If you assume their target's around 3%, we're at like 4 or 4.5% interest rate. So I think they're going to keep bringing it down. The labor market's really showing signs of struggling. There is no inflation. The inflation fears from tariffs never materialized. Inflation's been vanquished. The concern is the labor market. The Fed's doing a major pivot from quantitative tightening, which they've been in that stance for 2 years, now into quantitative easing. We're probably going to be there for at least 3, 6, 12 months of low rates until inflation rears its ugly head again and they have to reverse course. But I just don't see how Bitcoin and other risk assets are going to just crash and burn amidst a lowering of the interest rates. Everyone's going to think, what my guess is we are going to get a crash at some point. Everyone's going to think that's the end of it, and then boom, fake out. We just keep going higher because the market cycle is such that it's in support of higher for longer.
And Rima's over here says, yo, what's up, guys? Market seems to be working towards an explosive move. Either way, that is true. We've been talking about this consolidation. With the potential rate cut coming on the 17th, I lean towards a move higher. Maybe there is a sell the news event. But even if there's a sell the news, I think you do see an initial spike to the upside before that sell-off happens. I just think all the macro fundamentals point towards higher prices. If we have something to the downside, I think that is a flush out, a liquidation chase to get the longs out of the market, and it'll be a short-lived red candle. Everybody will talk about it for one day, and then 2 days later we'll be in the live show showing how it reversed and it's back up 20% off that low. That's just my opinion. I think based on history, even if you say the 4-year halving cycle's in place, quantitative easing coming in place, any downside here will be short-lived, and we will be achieving much higher prices by the end of 2025.
Yeah, we expect the unexpected in terms of, I'm 100% on board with the extended cycle. But what does that look like? That's not, I certainly don't think that's going to be, we get a dip in October, we're back up in November, and it's straight, green candles and happy days all, through into next year. The market's going to do weird stuff. It's going to try and shake us out. We might get another like double top kind of like, and people saying, it's the same as last year, so we top out at 125 or whatever. We crash down in October, pump up in November, again to 125, 130, and then we get a crash in December, and people are like, well, that's it. That was a double top just like last cycle, and everybody sells into January, and then all of a sudden January markets take off again. Who knows what's going to happen? Like, it's not going to be an easy road. Don't get your hopes up in that sense. We're not just going to be straight up to the moon only. Crypto's always going to be difficult and try and shake you out. That's just the nature of the markets. But I do believe in the long run, we're still going to be here in February, March, April, maybe next year, doing these live streams going 200K, 250K. But it's not going to be an easy, straight up road to hoe from here.
No, it never is easy, but it's also not that hard if you have a long-term mindset and you're just a hodler. Like, for me, I don't trade my Bitcoin. I don't fucking touch it. I just don't touch it. I treat it like, do you trade your 401k? Do you trade your your index funds? No, you hold on to them until you retire. Why do people look at Bitcoin any differently? I get it's volatile, it's up and down, maybe you don't have conviction. Okay, well, that's your problem. I'll be holding it until I'm ready to retire, and then I'll finally sell off, or maybe I'll just borrow against it. I mean, we'll be able to do that pretty soon. You'll be able to take a mortgage out based on your Bitcoin holdings. You never need to sell it. So yeah, look, it's hard if you're a trader, or if you don't have a lot of conviction, and you're trying to maximize every little opportunity. Yeah, then it becomes very hard, and you're probably not going to make it. But if you just hold on to your Bitcoin through the ups and the downs, and you sell in 10 years, trust me, it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. So yes, look, I get it. We're going to have ups and downs. I completely agree with you, Nate. But for me, I'll just be chilling.
Who else is going to be chilling?
Go ahead.
I'll say, who else is going to be chilling is everybody that bought in the bear market. If you learn nothing else, if you take nothing else away from this, if you feel like you missed this cycle, you feel like you're too late, okay. Sit on your hands, wait. There's going to be a bear market at some point when Bitcoin's down 50, 60%, when Ethereum's down 60, 70%, when the blue chip alts, these are companies that have hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars in their bank account. When their tokens go down 80, 90%, they're not going away, right? Like Solana's not going away in the bear market. Chainlink isn't going away in the next bear market, but their tokens are going to be an absolute fire sale. that's the easiest play in the world. When you buy those, when you bought Link at $5 and Solana at $10 and Bitcoin at 15,000, you don't give a shit if Bitcoin goes from 125 to 80K. You're laughing. You can sit through all the dips and feel super comfortable. So if nothing else you take away, get ready for that bear market and get ready to get your bags ready.
Yeah, and who else is chilling is the Crypto Paradise community. The website has got a little bit of an overhaul, so make sure to come to cryptoparadise.net, check it out, see what we offer, see what we do, and see how you can benefit here on the main page. But the biggest addition I think is most important is for the Surf holders. If you go to Surf here, you hover and you click on Dashboard, you can now see behind the hood of the Surf token of what is going on a daily basis. Obviously, there is the 5% tax, and that tax goes to holders. It goes to burns. It goes to LPs. It goes to the DAO. It goes to getting the brand bigger of Crypto Paradise. But now you can see it. Here is the zero address, which is the burn address. You can see that there is over 2 million tokens already built up in there, which is 2.36% of the total supply has already been burnt off out of the total supply, out of the market forever. And this grows with every trade that happens. If you come down here to Paradise Perks, you can actually purchase Surf right off the website. This is PulseX's decentralized exchange to help people get onboarded easier. You can click on your rewards and you can collect your specific wallet if you want to see how you are benefiting directly. But you can look at the global as well. This is how many rewards have been giving out to all of the Surf holders. Over 4.6 million, or like 4.6% of the total supply, has been recycled to holders and believers of the Surf token. The burn statistics, we already talked about 2.37% of the burn already happened. This actually gives you a bigger piece of the pie. It boosts your holdings by 2.42%. That is what you like to see. The average burn rate is 195,000 Surf per day. And in the last 24 hours, 381 Surf has been burnt. Remember, the hack has been going on, so people do not want to do on-chain trading. We're not doing any on-chain burning. We're not doing any DeFi yield buying of Surf either. That's why this is also lower. But pretty cool. You can come on here every single day, see how many Surf were burned, and understand that that is being bought off the market, burned forever, which creates scarcity in supply, but also makes your pro-rata share of the total supply larger simply by not even buying any more tokens, just by holding your Surf. And then lastly, this is the coolest one, I think, liquidity pool breakdown. You can see all of the Surf liquidity pools in the liquidity web, but also it's nice to see the initial liquidity with Surf and PLS was $4,000. It's up to $112,000. Surf with PLSX was $1,700. It's up to $36,000, and you can continue down the list and see that how the price of those assets going up, the price of Surf going up, and us using DAO funds to buy Surf and add to LPs has greatly grown these LPs over time. And you can start speculating that in the future, when PLS does a 10x, Surf does a 10x, and we're buying and adding LP, what does this LP value look like? 500,000 just for one pool, 1 million, who knows? But that's what you want to see when you're in these degen plays. You want to see thick liquidity pools and liquidity pools that are driving values for the holder, and Surf checks off all those boxes. So expect to see kind of daily posts on these burn statistics, just to kind of give you guys updated on the daily Surf burns and keep you guys speculating on what the future holds for Surf as well.
That is good to hear from the crowd. Also, shout out to the dev, Spy. He did a fantastic job with this. He's been working on it for a long time. Came together beautifully. So appreciate you there, Spy, if you're watching. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to continue to update you guys on all things Surf related just by showing this dashboard every day on the live stream. We can do a little update on it. And you guys, of course, can go check it out yourselves. Connect your wallet. Perfectly safe to do that if you want to see your Surf, specific information related to your own wallet and your own holdings. But yeah, brilliant tool, and I think a huge value add to the Surf token.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons we joined Pulse Chain initially was we wanted the tax token, we wanted the access to the liquidity web. Now you can see the power of that live in front of you on a day-by-day basis. This is super cool. Super stoked to get this out in the hands of all the Surf community, the Surf DAO members, and watch these numbers grow each and every day. We come on this live stream, give it a little check in. How much has been burnt today? What's the holder distribution today? Excited to see that number keep growing up and up and up. That's crazy. We've already redistributed almost 5% of the entire supply, and burnt coming up on 3%. Like, we've only been live for a couple months. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is too, Pulse Chain hasn't gone up much. It's up about a 2x since we launched, and we're just now starting to get more marketing deals, more advisory deals, pre-sale deals, and DeFi yield, and we're putting that towards surf buys and burns. So I expect this number to accelerate as we continue to move forward. I think we did a $500 DeFi buy last week, but we haven't burnt it yet because we were kind of waiting on the dashboard to be done and the burn functionality to be done. So expect those burn numbers to start accelerating here shortly.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped for this. This is fantastic. Rema, shout out to Rema. Last time he checked, he had to connect the wallet, but not anymore. We have all that data right there for you. Now, if you want to connect your wallet, you can. It's safe, and you can see data specific to your wallet and your holdings, which is a nice feature as well, right? But if you're just, hey, I'm just checking out Surf, doing a little bit of research, haven't decided to, jump into the wave yet, so to speak. Well, here's some great data for you to help make that decision.
And based on what I'm seeing here, you might just be able to paste any public address and see the data pop up. I can't confirm that, Rema. If you want to confirm that, I'm not going to put any of my dozen wallets on docs here on the live stream. But it looks like you can just paste any public address because this is just the zero address. The zero address is one of the burn addresses for Pulse Chain. That's default, so everybody can see it. But it looks like you can just paste a public address here and get these numbers. But
yes,
we'll
correct.
test that.
You absolutely can. That's a great point. Yeah. So there's 3 ways to check this now. Obviously, the front-facing, you don't need to connect your wallet at all. Okay, great. You can then decide to just paste your wallet address in there. You don't need to connect your wallet if you don't want to. You just paste it right in there, and you'll get all the data. Or you can connect your wallet and do it that way. So 3 ways to see the data on Surf. Great job, Spy. Appreciate Spy. He's a wonderful dev. And this is just one more tool in the arsenal for the Surf token.
Yep, and before we switch topics here, definitely get over to the DAO tab here, learn why you should be a DAO member, get 200,000 Surf or more in your wallet, and then do the DAO wallet connector, which is just a Telegram bot that will connect you into the private Telegram channel to get alpha insights, join the community, and it looks like we might get the first ever Crypto Paradise pre-sale going. We have seen some big pre-sales launch recently. One of them that we're involved with, and it kind of slipped through the cracks, did 1,000x. This one that we're talking about, we might have some more information. We're doing some final due diligence, but using the same market makers, the same launch strategy, the same network strategy, and very similar token economics. Now, I'm not promising 1,000x, but it would be nice if the Surf DAO could get a nice 2x, 5x, 10x, get another win on the books to start this bull market.
Yeah, guys, that's one of those lessons. You gotta learn to let things go sometimes in the crypto market. We all have big misses. I've done a couple videos and some of my most famous misses with Bored Apes and a couple other projects that I faded. Well, somehow we let this one slip through the cracks back, and I think it was like November last year. We actually did some advisory work. I think Nick even did some tokenomics work for him. And then, market was bad. We decided not to invest and kind of let the deal go. Well, they finally launched. And yeah, like you said, 1,000x. Those hurt, but you got to move on to the next one. You can't dwell on those. There's always another at-bat.
Well, I'll tell you what. The other at-bat is staring us in the face because the project that Nick just referenced, the one that we already, by the way, invested in their pre-sale, okay? The project's called Quants. They're launching in a few weeks. We already invested. A lot of our DAO members already invested. They are using the same marketing, basically service, marketing company and same market maker as that other project that did the 1,000x. So it's a very different project. I'm not saying it's going to be the same outcome, but certainly bodes well. Certainly, definitely, checks another box in my mind. So what we're looking to do is provide new Surf DAO members, those who maybe didn't get involved in the pre-sale one for Quants, to get involved in this upcoming one. So we're just waiting on them to send us a bit more information, token economics, a little blurb for you guys. But just another reason, get the Surf DAO, man. It's less than $2,000 to get into this DAO. I mean, the benefits are just tremendous relative to the cost.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it rapidly
if you want in another bag.
Yeah, if you want to do it rapidly, if you want to get involved, guys, because the TGE, here's the other thing. Confirmed TGE on September 25th, I guess, unless there's a massive Black Swan event in the markets, but 25th, so you're only got a couple days to kind of get in the Surf DAO, get invested as we send out these forms. Looking to launch both on Solana, Radium LP, along with MEXC listing, and we'll have buybacks with revenue that's generated from the project. And again, going to be using a lot of the same market makers, marketing firms, and stuff as the other project that had a massive success. The timing could be good on this. We do know like Hyperliquid and those kind of trading platforms are doing very well, and Quants is an AI-powered asset management platform, so not exactly the same, but kind of in sector adjacent there. So things, aren't guaranteed here. Hyperliquid, not exactly the same. Card Collect, not exactly the same, but they're doing a lot of overlap, a lot of the same timing, same network, and could do pretty well. We'll see what happens here. So get in the Surf DAO, buy your 200,000 Surf, and then you can evaluate it for yourself.
Well, and hey, shout out to Quants. We work with these guys for over a year. Founder is an absolute hustler. They've had to pivot more than once to even keep this project alive. They have all the projects that we worked with since the last bull market. 80% of them never launched, something like that. So this is one of the few that have made it through to the end. So shout out to those guys for sticking with it and getting to TGE. The founder, I've actually met him in person a few times. Super sharp dude, very well put together, knows what he's doing. I have all faith in him and the team that now that they're going to actually get launched. Even if the TGE is not a smashing success, like these guys are going to be out there hustling to make this work. So, proud to see them make it to the start line here. Well, the finish line that's now the new start line.
Right.
Yeah, I think Quants can do very well, and let's see if it does, or if we start to see other pre-sales do well. I mean, pre-sales were kind of our bread and butter in the last cycle. We know a lot of projects. People know that we have a community and we invest in things. We help with marketing, so we have no shortage of pre-sale opportunities that come to us. But it's sort of, the market dictates whether we're willing to invest in something. Because when it's bearish, pre-sales do terribly. But when it's bullish, they can do extremely well, and that's where you can do 10, 100 times or whatever. So hopefully this all works out for Quants investors. I am invested. Crypto Paris, the company, is invested. And we have tokens as well. So
we need to get Crypto Paradise added here on the partner list for sure with the backlink to our website. We need to remember to reach out to them for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And by the way, this product is very aligned with sort of our overall thesis on what people in crypto care about. They care about making money. Well, here's a product that allows you to make money in your sleep because it's AI-based trading on your behalf. Think of the Frontier Fund, but using AI. So, generating 22% returns annually or something like that on some of their low risk vaults, as they call it. It's all decentralized, smart contract based. I think they have a centralized version, but then they have the decentralized version as well. So, really a good product. Low market cap to start, low FTVs. Vesting isn't terribly long. I think like 7 months or something like that. So token economics look pretty favorable. But yeah, we're looking to offer a last-minute pre-sale opportunity to the Surf DAO members who may want to get in.
I think we might have a few buyers just because it's been so long since we did a damn pre-sale raise. People are just excited to be able to have the opportunity again.
I think so, man. And it's launching in like 2 weeks, whereas like us who invested previously, by the way, in the same round that's being offered to us again, we invested like a year ago or something like that. I don't freaking know how long it was. Ages ago. I have no idea. So long I've forgotten how long it was.
We had a call with the founder. Call with the founder yesterday went pretty well. Got me FOMO. I probably will get some more, but after that, I messaged my buddies and I'm like, hey, didn't you invest in the Quants pre-sale? And it's been so long that they're like, I don't even know. I'm like, you should probably check your email because they're launching here in a week. So something to look forward to, something to get excited about for sure. And we got T over here in the chat saying, good morning. Thanks for staying active, guys. Hang 10. Radical dude. Hop on that surfboard. Buy the surf over on Pulse Chain.
GM indeed, T-Bear.
Let's go. Any macro news to cover here? Or are we going to the moon yet for institutions or what?
ETH is looking more and more and more bullish. That 62,000 number, well, I'll show you another number here in a minute that's going to be even more crazy. But the more news that comes out, that doesn't seem so ridiculous, in the long run. Obviously not this year, maybe not even this cycle, but, Fidelity launches their tokenized U.S. Treasuries fund, you guessed it, on Ethereum. We've got both Fidelity and BlackRock have chosen Ethereum as their tokenization platform. Together they manage $29 trillion they'll be bringing on chain to Ethereum. Not immediately all 29, but all of that is going to be generating transaction volume as they onboard it, as people continue to trade online there. We've got $260 billion asset manager Bailey Guilford has launched the UK's first ever tokenized fund, again, on Ethereum. Joseph Lubin coming out saying he's going to 100x, $400,000 per ETH.
Jesus.
Let's go. Let's go.
I see you, Tom Lee.
I'm retiring 5 times in that case if it is that.
He said, I see you, Tom Lee. I'll show you. You want 62,000? I'll show you 62,000. How about 400,000, bitch?
62K is bearish now. So, yeah, Dan, I love that wonderful set of stories there. Oh, you got more. You got more.
That's just the first couple. Yeah. NASDAQ files with the SEC to launch stock trading through tokenized securities. If you want to place your bets, ladies and gents, on where they're going to be doing that, Ethereum. I mean, I don't know where else it's going to be. I think actually there's a great, here is a great comment on the first comment on the post here. Turns out zero downtime matters. Ethereum, the only one over the past 10 years. No, not Tron, X, or what is that? Hedera
XRP.
or Hyper.
That's XRP, I think. That's Ripple.
Ripple, yeah, Ripple. Solana, Cloudflare, Sui, Bitcoin, Stella, BNB. The only one that's had zero downtime, Ethereum. So it matters. We've said the last couple of weeks. Why are institutions choosing Ethereum? Is it the fastest? No. Is it the cheapest? No. But is it the most reliable and has the most proven track record in security and sustainability? Absolutely. Hands down. And that's what the companies, when you have, NASDAQ tokenizing the stock exchange, when you've got, a Bailey Guilford, BlackRock, Fidelity, as we're going to see here in a second, HSBC and ICBC filing for stablecoin license in Hong Kong. Where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to one place that is the most reliable, the most proven, and the most secure, and that ain't Tron. That ain't Ripple. That ain't anywhere other than Ethereum. So as much as we've had issues, and I've had my issues with Ethereum, it is the most secure. It is the most proven. It makes the most sense.
Let's go. Yeah, ETH to 400K. I'm convinced. ETH to 400. That's it, man. You got me convinced. But in all seriousness, you're absolutely right. And this just means more usage on the chain, more burns of Ethereum, more transactions being run, miners or stakers making more money, I should say. So the whole flywheel. I don't bet against guys like Tom Lee. I don't bet against Joe Lubin. I think they know a little more than you random degens out there on Twitter. So I will stay holding my Ethereum. I may not hold to 400K, but certainly I can hold to 10K. Let's.
With all these types of news coming out and institutions getting involved and going to get involved in the future, I just don't know how people think that the top is in. I mean, that money has to flow somewhere. Even if they don't buy any Ethereum, like the Fidelity one, they're still going to be utilizing the blockchain, which takes ETH, which means that they have ETH as the gas token. And when all those network transactions occur, that costs Ethereum and that burns Ethereum. So it also markets Ethereum because everybody using that platform is going to see the ETH logo or going to see ETH blockchain or going to see Ethereum is about whatever it may be. So I just don't understand, this is going to be a lot of money, a lot of trading volume, whether they buy ETH or not. It does buy and burn the ETH token based on utilization.
Well, that's the thing that people, this is magnitudes of levels of transaction volume more than we're talking, previously. Well, I mean, what is transaction volume on a monthly or daily basis on Ethereum now? When we have Ethereum with the entire crypto market cap of less than 4 trillion. Like, we're talking about tens, if not hundreds of trillions of dollars coming on chain between, real world assets, commodities like gold and oil and silver coming on chain, all the stable coins coming on chain. The US stock market alone is $90 trillion, right? Like the sheer, people just don't understand the magnitude of money that is going to be put on chain. Even if it's not like a Bitcoin where, the money coming into Bitcoin pushes Bitcoin price up. That's not how a lot of these are working. We get that. But the sheer transaction volume that's going to put through Ethereum. The other one that gets mentioned all the time here, Chainlink. It's another story we got pop up here. All of these RWA, all these assets that are coming on chain, whether they're stocks, whether they're commodities, whether it's gold, whether, whatever, they need a pricing oracle to make sure that the pricing is correct on chain here. Right now, Chainlink is the Ethereum of the Oracle world, right? There's nobody else that's been around longer. Nobody else has got more partnerships. Nobody else is bigger, has more tech, has more proven, uptime and capabilities than Chainlink. So like these are some rock solid, long-term investments as RWA, as the whole world, it starts tokenizing every asset and commodity out there. It's going to be hard to lose with those.
Well, look, there's always people who are willing to get out in front of a trend, take a little bit of a risk, kind of have that vision and faith that things are going to work out as you just stated. And there's folks that will wait and see and wait for it to actually happen before they jump in. And so they'll be buying our bags at 10K ETH, 15K ETH. We'll be here having bought in early, and watching these things play out before our very eyes. So if you needed more reasons to be convicted, I think Nate just gave you about 10. Hold on to your bags here, guys. Things are going to get explosive throughout the remainder of this year, and I think well into 2026.
Yeah, and talking about some gems here, I think if you go over to Vox.finance, I think those have found lows once again. Because I think Pulse Chain has found a low, so those had some sell-off, plus farms, get downward pressure, especially when the market is red. But Little Birdie told us some marketing is coming for Vox.finance with some other big players on Pulse Chain. Maybe some new farms and new opportunities are coming out there. So take a look at their tokens, the Vox token, the Hype token, and the Increase token. If you're not familiar with this, there is already Surf pools with big APRs, 335% APR on the Surf Vox pair, even with Vox at the current price it's at. So I'll keep an eye on these. Those tokens probably have found a low. And we've been farming with these for like a month now, a month and a half. Been earning massive passive income, been putting that towards compounding into these or buying and burning the Surf token. So good to see these guys at work, and good to see that a Little Birdie's in our ear saying that, hey, the next marketing campaign for these 3 tokens is about to begin. So good timing in their part. Again, Vox, Hype, Increase, all micro caps, all producing massive APR for farms. So I would definitely take a look. And if you're just a blue chip guy, you just own the blue chips on Pulse Chain, you can solo stake Wrap Pulse to earn 98% APR. I mean, nowhere else in traditional finance can you get close to that, and nowhere else on Pulse Chain can you get that with a project that's been as long-standing as the Vox Farms. So I would definitely take a look, and if you're a trader, this low may or may not be a good opportunity for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just had a great call with those guys. They will be pushing a marketing campaign with our help here in the near future. So I do believe the Vox token and Hype and Increase are going to do well, like Nick mentioned. And then, earn that passive income on the farms. What we're doing with our tokens that we're farming over on Vox and EMID, etc., we're just using that, the earnings from that to buy back Surf and then ultimately burn that Surf. And so you're going to see those buybacks and burns continue going. But another tool and toolbox for Surf token, and then for all the followers of the channel who are looking to make some money off passive income and farming.
Yeah, I mean, patience. I retweeted today, Fred Krueger, big Bitcoin guy, saying, 3 months from now, $112,000 Bitcoin is going to seem cheap. And I tweeted saying, most people don't have 3 months worth of patience. So, same thing goes with these projects. Like we work with Rhino 5, Vox, Emit Farms, like good quality teams, good quality projects. If you can be patient and hold, when we get into the wild side of the bull market, which we think is rapidly approaching here, those are the kind of projects where you can see those 100,000x gains.
Yeah, the nice thing about EMIT Farms too, it's like you can earn the EMIT token and then you can solo stake the EMIT. So I mean, with like 1,000 EMIT, which is $1,000, you're earning anywhere between like $5 to $10 of DAI per day, which is a stablecoin. So you can, I don't know your portfolio size, but it takes $1,000 to earn $5 or $10 a day, plus you remain long on the underlying. I like that, and I take that DAI and I dump half of it into Surf. I dump half of it into the X token or PTGC, and those have massive upside as well. So I'll do that, and it's kind of nice every day. You get your coffee or whatever you're doing, and you go collect some rewards, and you're like, oh wow, I just made $30, and just woke up out of bed, took my morning shit, made $30, and now it's time to go live on Crypto Paradise.
Not a bad life. Not bad. Certainly beats the commute. Certainly beats the asshole boss. So look, we've been doing this a long time. I've been in the industry 8 years now. Nick, maybe even longer. Web3 about the same. It hasn't always been easy. I mean, crypto's hard. Let's just be honest. Especially surviving as long as we have. But you ultimately do get to a point. You go through a couple cycles where you have enough money. You can make passive income. You can get involved with opportunities like Frontier Fund. You can get into DAOs like the Surf DAO and get early alpha and early calls, and you can eventually, I think, with 2 or 3 cycles, you can eventually retire off of crypto if you make most of the. You're not going to make all the right moves. There will be hacks, scams, and other bullshit along the way, but 2 or 3 cycles, and you will be able to retire. I firmly believe that, or at least retire in the sense of not having to work a normal job.
Rush hour sucks, guys. That's the biggest thing. It's like, hey, I do odds and ends stuff, entrepreneur now, doing crypto paradise, learn crypto, vending machine, random stuff. But man, I had to go drive in rush hour to take Tara to the airport, and that was miserable. People driving 40 miles an hour on the highway, cutting you off, honking. I'm like, holy cow, people do this every day. That's one thing I do not miss is the rush hour traffic every morning, and then you finally finish an 8-hour workday, you got to get on rush hour back. So I know you're tired after the 9 to 5, but lock in. Try to take advantage of some large caps, mid cap, small cap plays, and hopefully we can help you change your life and you can, get out of that rush hour to that dead end job that you don't like anyways.
That's it.
Take that commute down from getting on the interstate to going from your bedroom to your office. That's the goal.
Life goals right there. Life goals. But it's not going to be easy. It is going to take a number of cycles. It is going to take aligning yourself with smart people who've been through it, hint, like Crypto Paradise, to maximize your opportunities and minimize the risks. But if you do those things, you stay patient with it, you get more things right, slightly more things right than you get wrong, you will be able to eventually get out of that rat race. So that's what it's all about. That's what we're preaching here at Crypto Paradise. All right, any final news stories before we jump off for the day, John?
There was one more bit of news, Pump token from Pump Fund. So you know how we feel about Pump Fund and the extracting they've done and the raise, whatever. But the Pump token was listed on not just Binance, but Binance US, which is pretty interesting. That shows the stark difference in regulatory clarity for the crypto market and the United States embracing, hey, we might as well let this stuff go on because we can get taxes off the back of it. Because Pump, in my opinion, is a pre-sale, an extractor, and kind of scammy with their platform, with what they have going on, yet they were approved to list on Binance US in the United States of America. So that's an interesting one for the optics and just kind of the direction that crypto's taking and how quickly things have changed with Trump getting in power versus, Biden, Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren running the show.
Well, Binance is probably an investor in Pump Fund, and they have a financial interest in getting it listed, and so that is, look, Binance has.
It's more that it's less about Binance. It's more about Binance US being allowed or feeling that they are good.
That's very true. I mean, that's like to my knowledge, Binance US only had like 5 assets listed at one point, like Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, maybe a few others, and now they're listing, Pump Fund, which just did a massive ICO. Under the prior regime, you're actually absolutely right. That would have been considered security. Perhaps no longer. So it is a new day in the crypto markets. Thank God for Trump. He's pumped our bags and will continue to do so. I still say stay away from the pump token, but hey, that's your choice if you want to get involved with that. But yeah, I think absolutely. Very very happy with Trump and his administration thus far as it relates to crypto, no doubt.
Well, gents, I think we covered a lot today. Coming up in an hour here. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. What do we hit today here? What's the numbers?
Nate's got to go cuddle his wife and go to bed.
Yesterday was like we hit it like 780 views yesterday between X and YouTube. So let's keep it going. Let's smash the like, subscribe. There's things that you guys can do to help to grow Crypto Paradise. And if you are a Surf token holder, it is your interest to do so. So get to work, help us out in any way you can. Shout out to all those who have been helping, like Martin comes to mind, Rema, many others in the DAO who have been actively supporting. So just do what you can. Like, share, subscribe at a bare minimum. Tell a friend. And hey, if you're in the DAO, remember you can refer a friend in the DAO and you earn 10% in Surf tokens. So another way to earn money through Crypto Paradise. So yeah.
Hex hasn't been here the past 2 days. He was a daily guy. I guess he saw Hex go up 15% and he went on a bender. Missed the last 2 live shows.
He was here yesterday. No, he was here yesterday.
Okay.
Like, what did I miss? Blah, blah, blah. So he may watch it back. But yeah, it's great to be building up this community with you guys. This is still early days for Crypto Paradise. And yeah, as Martin said, we'll see you guys on the beach. Peace out.